Mike Bain from Christian Voice New Zealand. You know, our role is to look at our culture through the lens of the Bible, but sometimes when you look at the Bible through the lens of today's culture, sometimes you get a bit of a surprise. A quote from one of the world's richest men came via my Twitter account from Elon Musk, who actually owns Twitter and then renamed it X, but most people know about Twitter. But anyway, he said that unless there's more bravery to stand up for what is fair and right, Christianity will fade away. It reminded me of a quote routinely attributed to Edmund Burke, which says, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Now, here we are, living in a secular world surrounded by critical theory, cancel culture, groupthink, and a society made of people who think that they're entitled. Well, we live in a culture where it's people want is not the correct word, where they demand you accept their differences, but they fail to respect yours because, well, they just won't listen to them. I can't believe that the man who gave us the Tesla electric car would say anything worth quoting, but there it is. Unless there's more bravery to stand up for what is right and fair, Christianity will fade away. And how right was he? And how right was also Edmund Burke? Because today, to stand up to be a Christian, to espouse even a biblical viewpoint, you're likely to be shut down, ridiculed, or worse still, someone who disagrees with you, well, they're going to troll your social media accounts and then threaten you. Now, from past experience, these keyboard warriors, well, they're just bullies hiding behind anonymity. And this brings me to today's subject of being brave, and as I'm now starting to rise my head above the parapet, but in doing so, what I'm asking today is for you to think about what I'm suggesting and maybe send us your thoughts, whether you agree. If you disagree, but tell us why, but nicely. But the subject is about bringing faith-based teaching back into our school classrooms. Now, for some, I can see your head nodding in agreement and saying, yes, and some are showing signs of anguish, but I want to put a balanced viewpoint forward. And I do so knowing that I have faith in my Creator. So here it is. In order for us to teach morals and God-given principles to our young people in schools as opposed to a curriculum made up by the alphabet mafia on alternative lifestyles, we need to take a balanced approach to teaching not just Christian faith, but all faiths in schools. Now, for years I've listened and I've heard the arguments from atheists, the secularists, and the God opposers. And I understand where they're coming from. While some will argue for a complete separation of religion and education, others are advocating for a more inclusive approach, and a more balanced approach in our curriculum would be welcomed as being opposed. You know, the most well-known Catholic in New Zealand agrees when he was the Prime Minister, Bill English. He stated when the subject of religion in schools was raised, he said, and I quote, "It should be all-encompassing and inclusive for all beliefs." Now, as parents, we shouldn't be fearful, but open to including all beliefs in the curriculum because it can only foster cultural awareness and empathy. Give our kids a chance to learn about traditions and historical context. And by studying multiple religions, we're encouraging their cognitive ability to think, to analyse the similarities and the differences and the context. Now, not for 1 minute do I not accept that such an approach will not present any challenges, but the approach must be, well, it must remain balanced and avoid the promotion of any specific faith. It's expected that you as parents may fear indoctrination or proselytization, and there must be clear guidelines and transparency which can address these concerns. Now, to avoid this, the schools would need transparency and clear communication about the purpose of teaching all faiths. It's about education, not indoctrination. In order for schools to integrate religious studies into existing curricula requires thoughtful planning. It's developing a balanced curriculum that covers various faiths without favouring any specific one. Teachers, as they do with every subject they need training and appropriate resources. Highlight common values and ethical principles shared across religions. The objective approach is to teach about religions without advocating for or against any. or focus on historical context, rituals and ethical principles. They need comparative religion to explore the common themes across faiths, discuss morality, creation stories and concepts of the divine. Sometimes you might even get a guest speaker in to represent different faith communities, to share their perspectives. Well, both Elon Musk and Edmund Burke, they were correct. Unless there is more bravery to stand up for what is fair and right, Christianity is just going to fade away. The only thing necessary for triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing, and that's us. We need to do something. In today's failing world, we need to be brave, and we need to stand up to evil, to stand up for what is fair and what is right. Over the past decades, we've let our young people down by allowing the evil perpetrators of this world to dictate to us what they believe to be wrong. Well, I'm telling you, now's the time, even in these dying days of the world, that we have to push back against this darkness. I know you probably won't agree when I said we need a balanced view and teach all religions to our children, but let them make up their own minds with a balanced approach, facts without parental emotion. You know, we allow the gay rights and alphabet mafia, the drag queens into our schools and expose their philosophies and lifestyles to influence our children. So why should we not speak out for what is right in this world? I said earlier, I have faith in my God. You know, I have faith that His word will touch our children. Even if they see everything else, they'll be able to see and feel the differences. What choice have they today? Let me tell you, unless you're putting God into their lives but allowing them to hook up to the sewer pipe of secularism, it's wasted. Teaching all faiths in schools promotes understanding, critical thinking and awareness. You know, we can't make our children believe what we believe, but we can teach them that there is a God, a higher authority, and by respecting diverse beliefs, we're creating a more moral, harmonious and informed society.